Yeah, I would say that out of that article, about 70% lines up with what I've heard. About 25% of it, it's that stuff that I'm intimately familiar with or I could verify, and then about 5% of it was false. The accusations levied against Bieniemy, I mean, those are the things that people have said, and anybody who's ever worked with Eric Bieniemy knows he's tough to work with. And Andy calls the plays. Now Andy turns it over to Eric. He turned it over to Eric at the beginning of the year for large, substantial portions. It was part of the reason the Chiefs' offense wasn't doing that well. The crux of it is things that line up with things that I've been directly told by people that work in Kansas City, play in Kansas City. And I can tell you during that AFC Championship game, an offensive lineman stood up and addressed the team and specifically pointed the fingers at that specific member of the coaching staff for some issues that he was having in relaying plays in on time. And, Patrick Mahomes had shouted an expletive at him, like, call the play or I'm going to bleep and call the play. And that was a problem we saw with Eric Bieniemy when he was here at Colorado. We would see the offense get delay of game penalties on first down, not wanting certain running backs. Those are all things that are, common with Eric Bieniemy. When Bieniemy was with the Vikings, he told them they didn't need Adrian Peterson. Now, they drafted him anyway, and Bieniemy got credit for developing him. The persona and the media backlash on Eric Bieniemy not getting hired for head coaching jobs is because a lot of this stuff is media creation. Tyreek Hill got on Twitter today to go to bat for him.
Saw that.
But there are players that don't, and he has a schism with his quarterback, and he is a tough person. He's an old school throwback coach, and he's very he can be obnoxious. I try to tell people it's not a race thing. Ryan Poles is an African American. He was hired to be the general manager of the Chicago Bears. He didn't even interview Eric Bieniemy. They worked together in Kansas City for years. Didn't even interview Eric Bieniemy. So that's someone on the inside telling you, hey, look, I don't believe that this guy has what it takes. In the end, Eric Bieniemy gets credit for things that other people have done, and I think the best solution for everybody is for Eric Bieniemy to go somewhere else and be an OC for a year. Overall, a lot of the things specifically mentioned in there and a couple of specific anecdotes I know to be true from chats with people that were either in the room or making those quotes. Okay. And that's the thing. That's the other part of this is that Kansas City's been happy to see him move on. They've been giving him only one-year contracts, like waiting for him to move on.